Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78, wishing everyone out there a very happy 2017. As of today, January the 1st, 2017, it's the first day of the brand new year. I wish everyone out there a very, very happy year. I hope that everyone out there, first of all, has health. You know, we gotta keep fit, we gotta keep healthy, because otherwise we can't really enjoy all the stuff that we love, you know. You gotta take care of the whole package. So, hope everyone out there receives many good juju and is healthy. You know, everyone has to be healthy. Next thing I wish everyone is good fortune. You know, we gotta eat, we gotta survive, and in the case of people that have families, you know, we got families to maintain. So I wish everyone out there a very good fortune. I hope that you are all able to find awesome jobs, great opportunities, and get all that money flowing your way. So good fortune to everyone. Because, you know, without the money, we can't feed ourselves, we can't feed our family, and we can't buy all the awesome goodness that we that we enjoy. So good fortune to everyone out there. So as a means to celebrate and honor this year that has gone by and this new year that is starting, I wanted to record this today, specifically January the 1st, a look back at some of the movies that I saw with my wife and some with my daughter this past 2016. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to go out to the movie theaters as often as I would have liked. There are a ton of movies out there that I just could not go see. 2016 had a lot of sequels and stuff that I was interested in seeing, but unfortunately, either because I had different responsibilities at work, or of course family responsibilities, or we couldn't find anyone to babysit our daughter, and she's not old enough to actually go sit in the movie theater and watch the whole thing without, you know, making noise and ruining the experience for other people. We had to skip on a couple of movies. Some big movies that me and the wife wanted to see, but we'll see them when they release on home media. However, we were fortunate enough to go see most of the movies that I was interested in seeing. Not all of them, but most of them. And out of all that, I wanted to talk about the best movies that I saw on 2016. Now I'm going to start with some honorable mentions, movies that I saw in the theater. However, they weren't the best, but I still had fun, if that makes sense. My criteria for a fun movie is, first of all, that it's not boring. The worst crime that a movie can have is for it to be boring. A boring movie just kills it for me because, you know, I don't have as much time as I used to go to the movie theater and spend 2 to 3 hours sitting into something that I love, but the opportunity is rare. And, you know, it costs money to go to the movie theaters between the tickets and all the extras that you have to buy. So just go into a movie theater and have a movie just be boring as hell, that's the worst crime that a movie can ever do in my book. But as long as the movie is entertaining to me, or it invokes some sort of emotion, even if it's flat out anger, but some emotion, I still give it a pass, because at least it's not boring. These particular movies, like I said, are the ones that I enjoyed the most out of what I was able to see. I will give, however, some honorable mentions to a couple of movies. I posted this on my personal Facebook, so I'm going to talk about it. First honorable mention is the Ghostbusters reboot, the one with the all-female cast. Now, when I heard that they were doing that, when I heard that they were even thinking of rebooting Ghostbusters, I was upset. I was mad because, once again, Hollywood, who's flat out of ideas, is dipping into their classic series, and just to produce a cash cow, they release whatever the hell they want, and they butcher the original, thus tainting the original name. Ghostbusters, Star Wars, and Back to the Future are like my holy cows. They're the movie series, Indiana Jones is also in there. The movie series that I love, I enjoy watching. They're classic films, and they're movies that I like to revisit as often as I can. So when I heard that they were going to do a Ghostbusters thing, I was upset. I was mad. The trailers looked like garbage. I said I was going to see it. I didn't pay full price. I had a 2-for-1 ticket, but I said I was going to go see it just because. I'm not one of those. I try to be not one of those people that just hate for hate's sake. If I'm going to hate something, I'm going to watch it, and if it sucked, then I will hate it. But I will try to give it a chance. And Ghostbusters, I went in expecting crap because again the trailers were garbage, and I heard a lot of things happening, behind the scenes of the actresses not getting along and fighting for the funnier script moments. So I went in expecting garbage, but at the end of the day, the movie wasn't as bad as I thought. It's not the classic that Ghostbusters 1 or even 2 is, but it's not as bad as I originally thought. Some effort definitely went into the special effects. I will give it that. The special effects were not that bad. I rather enjoyed the special effects. And for the most part, the actresses did give good performances. Whoever put the movie together did a good job that you can't see that there was a lot of problems behind the scenes. So I enjoyed Ghostbusters a lot more than I thought I actually would. And it made me chuckle once or twice. So Ghostbusters does get an honorable mention. Another honorable mention is Suicide Squad. I was expecting to see that movie. I was excited because anything with the Joker and Harley Quinn is props in my book. Jared Leto, I thought would be an interesting Joker. The only problem I had with Joker and the Harley Quinn aesthetic that they went for is that I hated the freaking tattoos all over the Joker and the grilled teeth, and which they later tried to explain that Batman punched him so hard it broke all his teeth, so that's why he has the grill. It's a stupid explanation. He looks ridiculous. The look of the Joker is ridiculous. Harley Quinn, I'm sorry, I grew up watching Harley Quinn with the original Jester costume, and I like that. What the thing that they had her wearing was just ridiculous. I didn't like the look of the Joker and Harley Quinn. But despite that, and the fact that the movie is terribly edited, which is going to come up in another movie that I'm going to talk about, the editing on Suicide Squad is just god-awful. It's not as bad as another movie that I'm going to talk about, but it's pretty bad. And honestly, at this point, I don't know if DC is doing it on purpose, so when they release the movie on home theater, they can release an uncut extended version and double dip on people's pockets. But it's a stupid practice, and you should not be doing that, Warner Brothers. Bad on you. But Suicide Squad, unfortunately, for the most part, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the plot that they set up, even though it's a very simple plot, but I liked the plot. I was invested on what happened with Harley Quinn, with Deadshot, with El Diablo, which is a character I really, really liked. But yeah, the editing and the look of the Joker and Harley Quinn bumped it down a notch, and it only gets an honorable mention. Also, on Facebook, I put this on a number 11, because I was going to do a top 10, but for nostalgic reasons, I'm going to make a top 11 list, ripping off Nostalgia Critic, I totally know that. But my number 11 spot is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadow. I only saved this from being an honorable mention because I went to see it with my brothers. So it's very rare that all four brothers get together to watch a movie. But we did it because it's the Ninja Turtles. Me and my brothers grew up with the Ninja Turtles. Each one of the brothers is a Ninja Turtles. I'm Leonardo. So just for pure nostalgic reasons, I put it on number 11. And comparing it to the first one, the second one is actually a lot better in my opinion. The first one felt weird, and I still think the turtles look ugly. The design of the turtles is horrifying, especially Splinter in the first one. Splinter is nightmare-inducing. But in this one, they try to fix some things. Splinter has a little bit more hair, so he looks a little bit more like he did in the old movies. And the turtles, the interaction between the turtles is a lot more brotherly. So I like that. And they had Bebop, they had Rocksteady, they had Krang. What they did with the Shredder was a joke, but it was still more enjoyable than the first one. And again, it gets bumped into number 11 because of the nostalgia reason and because I went to see it with my brothers. But it's not a very good movie. You have to go into it with a mindset that and with your nostalgia goggles. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So number 10. Number 10, I have a tie for the number 10 slot because I'm putting Finding Dory and Kung Fu Panda 3. Both of these movies, unfortunately, and I mentioned it on Facebook, suffer from the fact that it took them way too long for them to actually release these movies. If these movies would have come out a couple of years ago, I feel it would have been better. Because I honestly, as much as I love Finding Nemo and Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2, it actually took me a while, and I had to rewatch the movies to remember what happened in the previous movies before these. But once I got up to date and I saw them, I enjoyed them, of course, a lot more. Finding Dory visually is beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. But of course, it's a Pixar movie, so that by this point they've perfected what they can do with their computer-generated graphics. So it is a beautiful, beautiful movie. The story is okay. It follows Dory and it explains some of her interesting quirks, but visually the movie was cool. And Kung Fu Panda 3, again, visually amazing. It was just really cool. Again, I do feel that slight disconnect that it took them too long to finally release Kung Fu Panda 3. But visually beautiful. I love this movie's aesthetic. I just feel that the colors that they use and the art style is just so beautiful. And of course, these two movies I went to see with my daughter, so that ups the awesome value. But visually beautiful movies. Next one, number 9, and I dropped this very bottom on my list because of the editing. The editing on this movie is worse than in Suicide Squad, and it killed this movie for me because it has my number 1 guy for DC and my number 2 guy in DC fighting, and that's Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. That's on my number 9 slot because I was super excited about that movie. I was super hyped. I was, oh my god, this is going to be awesome. And the trailers came out, and that god-awful trailer with Lex Luthor saying, "Ooh, Clark Kent, meet Bruce Wayne. I like bringing people together." God-awful trailer. But then the last trailer that they released was way better. So I went to see the movie, and my god, the guy that played Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg, what the hell? Like he was trying to channel this Joker-ish Riddler from Batman Forever thing that he created. His Lex Luthor was horrible. The editing on this thing doesn't make any sense. It's jumbled. It was a mess. It really was. It got me mad because it's Batman and Superman. It's the movie that I've been waiting years and years for it to happen, and it comes out, and Ben Affleck killed it as Batman. I forget his last name, his full name, but Cavill, the guy that plays Superman, killed it as Superman. I'm not a big fan of Gal Gadot yet, but when she's in costume, badass Wonder Woman. The thing I was excited about was Doomsday, but he looks like a freaking troll from Lord of the Rings, so that was disappointing. But it has elements that are amazing, but the execution just horrible execution. And there's the Blu-ray that has the extended uncut version, which I have to see. But I have heard from a lot of people at work that they do fix a lot of the issues from the theatrical release. So I have to see that one. Maybe that one will go up a little bit once they fix the editing. But really disappointed. I still enjoyed it because it's freaking Batman. It's the goddamn Batman versus the Blue Boy Scout. So because of that, I didn't drop it into like honorable mention, but it could have been so much better. Number 8, The Conjuring 2. I freaking love The Conjuring. The first one, scariest movie I've seen in years. That movie was perfect. It was moody. It had really good jump moments and really creepy moments. The first Conjuring, great horror movie. So when they released the second one, well, I convinced my wife to go see it because she doesn't like horror movies. And the first one, she was like this throughout the movie. So, but I convinced her as something for me to go see it, and it was good. It was really good. Not as scary as the first one, because they tried to tone down the horror a little bit with more human moments between the investigators and the family, and it has a really good touching moment where they're singing Elvis songs. I thought it was really good because that's what's missing from most horror movies. It's they don't invest you in the character, so you don't care what happens to them. But in a movie like this, you actually care for the characters. You want them to somehow beat this horrible thing that's happening to them. So The Conjuring 2, number 8 slot, amazingly good horror movie. I love this movie. Number 7, Deadpool. Not a big fan of Deadpool. I like Deadpool in the miniseries, as I've mentioned in my comic book pickups. In small doses, Deadpool is cool. But, and I was really disappointed what they did to him in the Wolverine Origins movie. That one was a garbage. But the one good thing about that is that Ryan Reynolds played Deadpool. If there's one person I would say, if someone asked me, well, in a what if world, who would you cast as Deadpool? I'd be like, Ryan Reynolds. Like that, Ryan Reynolds. So he really pushed for this movie being made, and he really pushed for this movie being an R, and everything came together, and it's a good movie. It's a good comic book movie. A lot of fourth wall breaking, a lot of comedy. Just a good movie. I enjoyed this movie, and I hope that this opens the gate for, because Logan is going to be an R-rated movie. Finally, we're going to get an adult Wolverine movie. The Wolverine was a good step, and Logan, super hyped for Logan, and it's all thanks to Deadpool. It's a funny movie. I laughed and laughed and laughed at Deadpool, and it's a good superhero action movie. Even though it feels like a low budget action superhero movie, because Fox didn't want to put too much money into it, and you can tell, but still, what they did with what they had, and Ryan Reynolds makes it work. Good movie. Number 6, Storks. I didn't even know this movie was going to come out. I saw no trailer. I saw no information. One day, me and the wife wanted to take our kid to a movie, and it was the only kids movie playing. We went to see it, and oh my god, it was really good. It was a really good kids movie. It was funny. It made me laugh. The animation was good, and so a scene at the end actually made me choke up. So it was a good. I actually debated whether or not to put this on top of Kung Fu Panda and Finding Dory, but I enjoyed this movie more than Kung Fu Panda and Finding Dory. That surprised me because I love Kung Fu Panda, but this one, I don't know. Maybe it was the fact that I was with my family. Mostly, I want to say it's the animation and that it's funny. It's a funny movie. I laughed out loud on a bunch of this, a bunch of parts in this movie, and I just had fun. And again, it's my list, so having fun in the theater is what elevates a movie from the other one. But Storks, my surprise enjoyment of this movie is really good, and I mentioned this on Facebook, and god damn it, kids movies, why do you have to bring out the feels in me? It's I'm a family man, I'm an old man, you make me choke up in a kids movie. God damn. Number 5, Zootopia. I saw this. I did see the trailer in this, and it looked funny. They passed the sloth scene in the DMV where the sloths are like moving really slow. But the animation is beautiful. Again, animation has to be beautiful. And this one was beautiful. The animation was gorgeous, and they have all this whole city full of animals, and there's this whole ecosystem of small animals and having to compete with the bigger animals. And it has this message that, even though everyone makes fun of you and doesn't think you can achieve something, if you do work at it, if you do put out your best, eventually you're actually gonna make a difference. And today's society is all cynical, and everyone's like pushing each other to get on top and everything. But this movie, it has a good message. I like this movie. This movie was a lot of fun. Number 4, X-Men Apocalypse. I am a huge mark for the X-Men. As far as Marvel teams, the X-Men beat out the Avengers 100% of the time. As much as I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe and what they're doing with the Avengers, the X-Men will always be my number 1 team. When I got into comic book reading, it was Batman. Batman is the one that got me back into comic book reading. Next one is the X-Men. I picked up X-Men number 3 with Jim Lee and Chris Claremont, and the artwork and the story is what won me over with the X-Men, and I've been an X-Men man ever since. The cartoon, the comic books, the movies. I'm a huge X-Men mark. Days of Future Past was amazing. So I was super hyped when I went to see Apocalypse, because finally they were bringing Apocalypse into this. And it was a good movie. I still enjoy Days of Future Past more, because that one was more fun, even though it had a lot more serious things. But this one felt epic. It felt big, and it had Magneto, and it had Xavier, and Mystique, and Apocalypse. And it had a really cool scene with Wolverine. It was just a fun movie to me, but again, I'm an X-Men mark. Anything that has the X-Men, anything that's well done with the X-Men, I'm going to enjoy. So, number 4, X-Men Apocalypse. Number 3, Doctor Strange. Again, I mentioned this in Facebook, but it seems like Marvel can do no wrong. Disney Marvel is hitting it off the park with all their cinematic movies. Great casting, great effects. Doctor Strange, I like this Doctor Strange. I actually feel that they don't give Doctor Strange enough love, and I heard from a lot of people saying that this is the movie that's going to sink the cinematic universe, because no one knows Doctor Strange. I knew who Doctor Strange is, but I'm a comic book guy. And I had to explain to a lot of people what the deal with Doctor Strange is, because he's more important to the Marvel Universe than has been shown so far. He's the Sorcerer Supreme. He's the first line of defense against demonic creatures or godly beings from another world like Dormammu. And the way that they handle it, a lot of people compare it with Iron Man, because it's a story about this egocentric guy with great talent that suffers a personal crisis, and he has to train, and he has to become more than what he was. So the parallels to Iron Man, okay, they're kind of there, but Benedict Cumberbatch does great as Doctor Strange. I liked it. I liked the effects, and the way that he beats Dormammu. Oh my god, oh, that was so cool. I was like, this is brilliant. It's brilliant the way that Doctor Strange beats Dormammu, and that trippy scene when he's going into where the elder one. God, I'm spacing out on the names. The ancient one shows him all the worlds, and it's this really trippy 70s kind of thing that I thought was amazing. So, number 3, Doctor Strange. Good Marvel movie, and I hope the streak just keeps going and going and going, and Marvel just keeps pumping out hit after hit, because I'm really digging it. Speaking of Marvel, my number 2 spot, Captain America: Civil War. Loved this. There's a lot of movies this year that were exciting to me, but when they showed Spider-Man in that Captain America trailer, I was like, that's it. I have to go watch this movie. This is going to be awesome. And it was awesome. It beat Batman Superman by a mile. And don't get me wrong, I love Batman. Batman's my number 1 guy. Him and Wolverine. So imagine my confusion, shock, when my number 1 guy can't beat the juggernaut that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that's what this is. Civil War has adult themes, in my opinion. Winter Soldier also had very adult themes for a comic book movie. but this one has very adult themes. It handled the conflict a million times better, I felt, than Batman v Superman, because there's this whole political thing that involves Captain America and Iron Man and the government, and the personal views of each one, and the way when they come to head, it's good. It's well developed. It's well thought. It's just a good confrontation. And the airport scene where Spider-Man makes his big appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe was really good. The kid that they got for Spider-Man, I thought, was good. Tobey Maguire was a good Peter Parker, but not a good Spider-Man in my opinion. Andrew Garfield was a good Spider-Man, not a good Peter Parker. And this kid seems to be a good Peter Parker and a good Spider-Man, so that was cool. I liked the fight he had with Captain America. And when Ant-Man, who when he grows big, he's like, Spider-Man's like, hey, anyone ever see Empire Strikes Back and how they take out that giant walking thing? It's good. Of course, Marvel and Lucasfilm is owned by Disney, so it was interesting to see that reference, but it was still pretty cool. Standout characters. Again, Spider-Man. Spider-Man was perfect in this movie. Ant-Man made me laugh my ass off in the scenes he was in. Scarlet Witch is developing into a really cool character. Everyone. And again, the internal conflict and the last battle between Bucky, or the Winter Soldier, Captain America, and Iron Man. Wow, because throughout the movie, I was Captain America. I was Team Captain America. I felt that what he was doing was right. And at the end, I was like, oh, well, no, that's not, oh, my own shrift. And in that battle, I was like, go Iron Man, because that was kind of fucked up. So it's a good movie when they do that to you. Like, you're expecting something, and then they swerve you, and you're like, wait, what? Whoa. So, yeah. Captain America Civil War, my number 2 favorite movie of 2016. And my number 1 favorite movie of 2016. It was a debate, an internal debate between my number 2 one, Captain America Civil War, and this one. But I've seen this one twice, and that just broke the tie. And my number 1 favorite movie of 2016 is Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. I was super hyped for this movie from the first teaser trailer, and much like the X-Men, I am a huge Star Wars mark. I love Star Wars. Star Wars is one of my favorite series, movie series, comic book series, toy series of all time. Star Wars means so much to me because, like I said, when I was really young, I remember clearly in my mind's eye 2 movies: E.T., the Extraterrestrial, and Star Wars Return of the Jedi. And the one that made the most impact in my life, and the reason why I enjoy going to the movie theaters, is Star Wars. Return of the Jedi blew my little kid's mind away with the visuals, with the action. It was just a mind-opening experience, and so I will always love Star Wars, no matter what. I will admit I was a little worried when Disney acquired Lucasfilm out of George Lucas, but their track record with the cinematic universe for Marvel has been good, and what they've been doing with Star Wars is amazing. And well, the movie's been out for quite a bit now, so I still don't want to go into too much spoilers, but it's kind of hard. But I love the characters. Every single one of the characters was good. The new characters. Jyn Arso, I thought her character development was good. The Mexican actor, Diego Luna, when he was announced as being part of Star Wars, I was like, good. I'm glad that a Mexican actor is finally, nabbing important roles like that, because we already have important directors winning Oscar-winning movies. So it's good that a Mexican actor is part of something that I love, and he did a great job. I liked what Diego Luna did with Cassian Andor, and I was excited to see Donnie Yen there because I like my Asian cinema, and Ip Man was really cool. And I still repeat to myself the phrases that he did as Chirrut Inwe. The force is the force. I am one with the force, and the force is with me. I am one with the force, and the force is with me. And I fear nothing. Everything is as the force wills it. That's become my new mantra in life. Whenever I encounter something, I say that to myself, and I get myself pumped. Base Malbus was good. Favorite character, I freaking love this character. K2SO. I love that droid. What they're doing with the droids has been amazing. BB-8 was great in The Force Awakens, and K2SO was amazing in this movie. I love that robot. I want to get a toy from him because I really, really liked that droid. I thought he was funny. I thought he was sarcastic, and they got a good actor. He was the pilot in Firefly. I don't know his name. Oddly enough, I always remember the characters' names more than the actors sometimes. But K2SO, loved him. The bad guy, he was cool as a bad guy. And they digitally brought back to life Peter Cushing from who appeared as Tarkin in New Hope. And because when the way they introduced him is like you can only see his back and his reflection. So I thought they were gonna be like, oh well, they can't really bring back Peter Cushing unless they get someone and just put like prosthetics, but it's gonna look weird. So they're only gonna do it from the back, and then he turns around and I was like, holy shit! Oh my god, they brought back Peter Cushing from the dead, because it looks really good. The effect looks good. I'm sorry, but it looks good. There are some moments when, like, if there was too much light in the scene, you could see he could that uncanny valley thing. He looked, out of sync. But when it was darker scene, the effect melded pretty good with everything else. So it was pretty good. I was amazed that they brought back Peter Cushing as Tarkin. I thought that was pretty good. And the effects, oh my god, the effects were good. I love the effects. I love the effects on this movie. One of my favorite things in Return of the Jedi was the dogfight scene when they're above the moon of Endor and the Rebel Alliance is fighting the Empire and the Death Star, and they have this dogfight scene, and they recreated that here in this movie, and I loved it. I loved it. I love the action at the end there. Everyone's on the ground running, trying to get the Death Star plans from the Empire's citadel, and on top in space, the rebels are trying to desperately survive from everything that's happening, and it was exciting. It was exciting, and without wanting to give too much away, props to Disney and Lucasfilm for taking the risk that they took at the end of this movie. I was like, you have my respect. I thought you were gonna chicken out maybe, but no, they went ahead with it, and it made me feel bad. And the second time I saw it, I was like, maybe this time, it will be different, because I really love these characters so much that it was kind of hard at the end, on the second watch, but again, a movie that is able to bring that kind of emotional investment on fictional characters and make you like them, make you root for them, and then have that switch. That's a movie that I will gladly and proudly say is my number one movie of 2016. Rogue One is amazing. A lot of people didn't know what to expect from this movie because it's not part of the main canon. It's a side story. I've heard a lot of people just say it's a quick cash. Just put together a Star Wars movie, and people are gonna watch it. Especially because it's a year difference between Force Awakens and this one. Force Awakens released 2015. Rogue One released 2016. 2017 we're gonna get Episode 8. So I love Star Wars. So I'm not gonna complain that they're churking them out so soon. As long as they keep the quality from The Force Awakens and the quality from Rogue One, I will buy my seat and I will watch your movies, Disney, and Lucasfilm, because my God, what you did with Rogue One was inspiring. I felt myself go back in time to when I was a child and saw Return of the Jedi, and it brought back that feeling of excitement, that feeling of awe at what you had created, and you made me become invested on these new characters. And again, my God, props to you for going through with what you had planned for these characters, because wow, really, I am sure a lot of people came out of that theater upset because they were rooting for the rebels, and then boom, this happened. Someone asked me at work what I thought of this movie, and I liked it. I compare the tone of this movie to Empire Strikes Back. It's a darker movie. It's a more bleaker movie, but it is amazing. Just like Empire is amazing, this is amazing. So I don't know what kind of tone they're gonna take with Episode 8, because Episode 7 is the fun one, like the first Star Wars one was, and then Empire was the darker one, and Rogue One is dark. So I don't know if they're gonna go dark with Episode 8, and then Return of the Jedi is the triumphant one. So I don't know what Episode 9 is gonna be. So yeah, the only thing I did want to touch upon, I'm all half an hour into this, is that I am very saddened by the death of Carrie Fisher. Actually, the day that I went to see this movie for the second time, Carrie Fisher had passed away. And an international trip from London to the U.S. She had a heart attack, and they said that she was doing better, and then she died last week, which is the week where I went to see Rogue One. So it's kind of sad to me to see that the world that I grew up in and the people that I saw in my childhood are slowly dying away, because I don't deal well with death personally, because of personal beliefs. So it was really sad to hear about Carrie Fisher dying and going out the way. And a day after she died, her mom died, Debbie Reynolds died. So a lot of people, 2016 in that aspect sucked, but I was thinking of doing a video on that, and it's going to be hard, so I'll talk about that later. But at the end of Rogue One, Princess Leia makes an appearance, and they also rejuvenated her, much the same way they did with Michael Douglas in Ant-Man. It was a really good effect. That one worked better than Peter Cushing. And that one was a very bright lit room, and that effect worked better, and it had more impact the second time I saw it, because Carrie Fisher had just died. So some good with how much I loved Rogue One, and some sad with what happened with Carrie Fisher. So rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. You are one with the Force now. So yeah. Rogue One, number one favorite movie. Super hyped for Episode 8. Thankfully, she finished all the filming in Episode 8, so I don't know what they're going to do on Episode 9 with Princess Leia. Unless they kill her off in Episode 8. And then that one's going to be hard. If they kill her off in Episode 8, now that she is dead in real life, that one's going to be hard. But we'll see. We'll see in December. Also, 2017 is the 40th anniversary of Star Wars. Came out in 1977. So this will be the 40th anniversary of Star Wars. Wow. It's going to be the year of Star Wars. And Logan. I'm looking forward to Logan. That one is also going to be a tearjerker, I am sure, because Hugh Jackman has said that this will be his last movie as Wolverine. So that one's gonna be hard too. So yeah, that was my. I'm sorry if I rambled there, but I like talking about movies and stuff. But that was my top list of favorite movies of 2016. I hope 2017 brings a lot of cool movies and more opportunities to go see more movies. Well, I already talked to my wife, and there's like a couple of movies that we can't miss, no matter what. No matter what, I cannot miss out on these movies. And episode 8 is on the top of my list. So thanks so much for watching, guys. If you agree, disagree, leave a comment, please. You can follow me on Facebook. I usually post where you can find me on the link. I love talking about movies, about comic books, and stuff like that. I like to keep the channel diverse, and recently I have pumped out and included a whole bunch of stuff. So I hope you guys out there enjoy it. And if you disagree, I'm open to discussion. I love talking about movies, so I'm always up for a chat. But until I see you all again, thanks so much for watching me talk almost for an hour on movies. I hope you enjoyed it. But until I see you all again, this is Vargas XX78 from the Vargas Vault, thanking you and signing out.